Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first episode in a very exciting series for Atom&Matter. So we wanted to start doing sort of an interview type of series that really gives us the chance to have a one-on-one chat with different people in my life that inspire me. So I'm very excited to kick this series off because we've been wanting to do this for a very long time. So this just gives us all the opportunity to, meet some new people, get to know some new people, learn from each other, and just have like a very honest chat. It's kind of like we're just video chatting or on FaceTime or something. So I'm very excited. For our first guest, I wanted to make sure that it's somebody that is very prominent in my life, that I look up to a lot and I'm very close to. So I thought, what better person than my very own sister? So if you are not familiar with my sister, Brittany, she's been in some of my YouTube videos. She also has her own YouTube channel. She's a working woman. She's a mom. We are 5 years apart. She's 5 years older than me. And yeah, she's my older sister. Our relationship, like a lot of sisters, has had its moments, but we are super close now. And she is honestly one of my best friends. So I really wanted to have her be a part of this series, especially for the first episode, so we could get to know her. I mean, I already know her, but we can just have a chat with her. So yeah, without further ado, let's welcome my sister, Brittany.
Hi.
Woo! Look at that knit sweater. Welcome to the interview. This just feels like we're on FaceTime, but except we have makeup on.
I know, for once.
Literally, we just FaceTime this morning. It was just like this, but we didn't look like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to get into, we have 20 questions, and we're going to jump in. So the first one is easy. How would you describe your style?
My style right now, I'm trying to look presentable, but for the most part, if I'm not at work, I am very comfortable and casual, big sweatshirts, leggings, but I try to somewhat stay with what I see in like Instagram and TikTok. I try to stay with the times.
I feel like you've been good about that though. Like,
I'm trying.
I feel like you are a little more daring, at least like growing up. I feel like you were more daring and I was a little more simple.
Yeah. Blue lipstick.
Yeah, see, I never got into that. Okay, this one I'm interested to hear your answer now. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Now I'm an introvert. I never was. I always was very much wanting to be like in the middle of everything. And now I'm like, can I cancel my plans? Can I stay home?
I knew it. That's so great. That's why I wanted to know your answer, because I know that like knowing you, you've always been very extroverted. And I felt like over time, you've balanced out.
I try. I mean, I still love to have my friends and have people around, but a lot of times I'm like, it's too much. I need a break from crowds and people. So I've actually been loving quarantine.
Yeah, that part of quarantine has been really fun for me as well. What piece of jewelry has meant the most to you? Like out of all the pieces that you've gotten in your life, is there one that is the most important?
Definitely my wedding ring. I feel like that's one piece of jewelry that I wear every day. I haven't done my nails, so.
Ooh, let's see that sparkle. That's
how do I do it? Here we go. So that's my favorite. I'm also, if I have to put on another piece of jewelry, I like my hoops. I'm always about them. I've been about them since I was in high school, so that's another thing for me.
We love the hoops. Do you remember when we got those charm bracelets? The ones that had the little pictures?
Yeah, the Italian charm bracelets. They were little chain links.
Yes, they pinched my skin so bad.
You had to have them because everyone wore them. So I was like, I'll go through the pain.
Wow. Yeah. I'm glad that was actually, I don't know why I thought I just dreamt that. That was really a thing that we had.
Mom would surprise us with new charms.
She did every Christmas. Diving into the childhood questions, what did you want to be when you were growing up? I feel like I don't know this.
Well, we just watched that video from when I was a child, and I saw some contest and I was like, I want to go to Hollywood. I wanted to be Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. I wanted to be them. That's what I wanted.
She wanted to be a starlet.
I did. And then after that, I think I wanted to be a nurse, and it just never happened for me.
Wow. Yeah, you idolized, I feel like, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen a little more because they were more in your age demo. Who was your inspiration growing up? I guess for anything, whether it be like your dreams for career or like style or music or any of that.
Okay, so first, like when I was younger, it was them. But then as I got older, Hilary Duff was everything. I think she really was. The Times, that was the one.
I loved her albums.
Yes.
The shows.
The outfits, the dresses with the pants together.
That was a look.
That was a thing.
Like legit, like jeans underneath the dress.
Mm-hmm. That was a thing. Wow. Also, who else was there? I think I was starting to get older when it was like High School Musical, like Ashley Tisdale, Vanessa Hudgens. Also, Princess Diaries, loved.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That definitely shaped our childhood.
Find out you can be a princess one day.
Yeah.
Come in and say, you know what, you're actually the princess of this country you don't know about.
That was a slightly unrealistic expectation that we had.
Gonna live in a fire station.
I know. I hecka wanted to live in there. I looked it up on Google Maps. How did growing up in your hometown and household mold you into who you are today?
It made me really sheltered. And so I think when I left this town, like when I left the town that I grew up in, I really got to see more of everything. And I think that changed me. I do like that I grew up in a small town, though. I think that I was able to have experiences that I wouldn't have had anywhere else. And I feel like it was safer.
Yeah.
I feel like I definitely had a different childhood growing up where if I talk to people from other places, they can't relate.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I feel that like being sheltered thing. But that's where I think it's been cool to like overcome that, learn about things, even though it's probably a little later than other people would learn about them.
Also helped me like be the kind of parent that I want to be and do the things that I wanted to do because they weren't things that were normal for people around me.
That's true. That's a good point. What's one thing you would tell your 13-year-old self if you could?
Ooh.
She said, there's so much.
I know, I have a letter. I'm like, style, girl, I wore a Lord of the Rings necklace and I thought that I was like legendary. I was like, you know, girl, I made things harder for myself. I really did. But I think I also just spent too much time worrying about what everyone thought of me. And like, you think back on it now and it's like, you don't even talk to half of those people, even more than half. So I'm like, I could have been so much happier and done so much more and not had to worry and be a stressed out little 13-year-old with my Lord of the Rings necklace. Like, I could have avoided that.
But you loved the Lord of the Rings necklace, so that was cool.
I did. You know, that was me. But I don't know. Maybe I thought I was doing something that I wasn't there. So
at the time, I thought your style was great. I remember I wanted everything that you had. I would go into your room and take your stuff. I said, she has all this makeup. You had hecka like lip balms and lip glosses.
Seeing them smashed down.
Oh, yeah, that was me. My bad. Moving into your job and your career and everything, what is one thing, if you had to pick one thing about your job that excites you the most? And also you can like elaborate on what you do and all of that.
I'm currently a substitute teacher. I've been working in education field for like 3 years now. And I'm working towards becoming a teacher. So that's why I love being a substitute teacher right now, because I'm getting that experience. But I think I just enjoy working with kids, which is something I never thought was going to be for me. I really didn't.
We're all of us in the family are like, way to go.
Everyone in my life is like, what? I don't know, something I never thought it was going to be for me. And then I started working as a paraprofessional and I got in the classroom. And I think just working with so many kids, especially the ones that they need that extra help and they need like that extra attention. And I like love it. Like I seriously, when I see like a kid that comes in the classroom and they're having a hard time and then I talk to them for a little bit, or even distance learning now, that's what we're having to do, and just talking to them through the computer and they want to stay after class to sit and talk with me. And it just like makes me want to cry every day, but I love it. It's really something that makes me happy. And so I like that I can do something that I love, and that's my job.
Yeah, because even growing up, I think everyone thought that like I would have kids before you because you were never like fully about the children.
Yeah.
So it's
You
cool to
know?
see
I was
that.
like, oh, kids in the room, bye. See you.
Yeah. But you're so good with them. And like, even when you've told me about it and like tell me about the kids in your classes and stuff, like you're really good with them. And it makes sense because you're a good mom too. It's just like so crazy to see it because we would have never thought. But here you are.
No.
What keeps you motivated to achieve your goals?
My main thing that keeps me motivated is obviously my kids. I feel like they are definitely something that they're the people that when I think of anything, I think of them. I think also I just want to see myself do better and do more than what I thought I would. And so I
Mhm.
enjoy like, pushing forward and seeing like, okay, I made it here. Let's see if I can go here. Let's keep going and pushing. And I think it's more once I started focusing more about myself and my family, my kids, instead of everyone else around me, I think that's really what motivated me more versus when I would think like, oh, I see that person's doing that. I need to do this.
The comparison will never be a good motivator because it just
No.
ends up making you feel really bad.
Now seeing it as something for myself, bettering myself, personal growth, and my kids, I think it really makes me more excited about everything I do. And whenever I like accomplish something, then I'm like, oh wow, let's keep going.
Yeah, I love that perspective. Out of everything that you've done, is there one thing that like you're the most proud of?
My kids are definitely something that they're what I'm most proud of, but also I will say I was really proud of my bachelor's degree. I was really proud of graduating college because that's something that I really wanted to work towards, that being in our family, like first generation, like college graduate, that was something that was really important to me. So I was really proud of myself, even though like I took so many years off school. I went back, I pushed through with 2 kids and got it done.
That's a huge accomplishment. That's really great. How do you balance work with being a mom? Because obviously, how old are they? I always forget their ages. Camille is 3.
And Marin is 8. It's a struggle. You know, I wouldn't say I balance it.
Like with this past year and the whole pandemic, it's like obviously they've been spending way more time at home than they would have been.
Yeah. So, and they don't get to get out as much. Like, I mean, they used to go to the park every day, and so now they don't do that. Like everything, it's hard. And then I'm working. Sam, my husband's working. I'm still going to school for my credential, so I'm like doing that every single day. And with everything else, it's a lot. But I feel like planners have been my best friend. I've been keeping a planner since high school. I love my planners. They're like my diaries, and they help me because if I see it written down, I can see my whole day and plan out based on hours. And then I always just try to make sure that I make time for my kids, even though I'm busy. Like, I know I'm busy. I know I have a lot going on, but I don't ever want them to feel like I'm ignoring them. And so I'll make sure that I make time throughout the day to talk to them, spend time with them, let them know that they're very much a part of my life every single day and that nothing's more important than them.
Yeah, that's really important, I feel like, especially because you're all in the same household all the time now. If you do have to work on something, they can probably easily feel like, oh, I'm not important because she's like, we're in the same house, but she's not acknowledging me.
Yeah. She's on the computer. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard. They see that. They see me doing my homework, or they see me just coming home for lunch really quick and then going back to work. And they're like, so.
Yeah. Staying on the topic of family, what is the best part about being the older sibling?
I think that it's that I got to watch the family grow more, I think. Like, I got to have the baby sister. I got to be the one that, like, was just getting to experience everything and share that. I mean, I didn't do any of the things that I feel like most older siblings do. What was it? More rules?
Yeah, I feel like you just had to put up with me being like an annoying younger sibling for the most
I
part.
got to watch you grow. I got to reach out and be like, hey, did this before, don't try it.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for sisters?
Don't get in big fights. They're not worth it. I mean, remember that your sister, I remember hearing this as a kid and getting so annoyed. We're like, be nice to your sister. She's going to be your best friend one day. I'm like, no, she's not. And now I'm like, she's my only friend. So
I know.
your parents are not lying to you about that.
That is so true. I feel like that goes for honestly like all family members because I feel like you grow up and then you reach a certain point where you're like, whoa, like my family members are people. Like I feel like you just view them as like, she's my sister and they're just my parents. But then when you grow up, it's like, oh, they're actually humans.
Yeah. I just remember hearing that so much. Don't fight with your sister. She's going to be your best friend one day. And I'm like, okay,
Look
Mom.
at us. Look at here.
Now we FaceTime every day.
It is crazy to think that there was a time that we didn't do that. Like I think around the time that you were in college and I was still living at home with mom and dad, like we would like I don't even know if I had your number. Like I feel that we never talked ever. And it's so weird. Like we probably went like maybe even a year without talking unintentionally.
Just like life.
Yeah. And now it's like we talk all the time. It's pretty crazy how that works. So yeah, that's a really good piece of advice is to like,
It's
inevitable that you will have fights with your siblings, but like just, it's nice to know that that sibling will probably end up being your best friend in the long run.
Yeah. They might be annoying. You might think your big sister, little sister, sibling is annoying, but at the end of the day, that's going to be one of the people that you're closest to.
Yeah. And look, we tested each other, you know, growing up, we really did test each other.
Yeah.
And here we are. Do you have a favorite family memory? It could be like with your family or like in our family.
Memory. I feel like I just like that we used to leave town a lot. Like I liked all the time we'd go to Monterey, but then we got sick of it. But I liked that that was something that we traveled a lot. Like we would just get in the car and go somewhere.
Yeah, I did like that about our childhood too. I feel like because we lived in such a small town, it was nice to get out and like go to a different town that wasn't that far away. And I feel like it also kind of warmed us up because we both done traveling, you know, we both traveled out of California and stuff. And I feel like it's helped us kind of like get used to that concept because, you know, not everybody has the privilege to travel and to see other parts of even, you know, the state or country. So I feel like that was really helpful in like expanding our perspectives a little bit.
That's a big one. And I think even with my kids now, that's something that I always enjoy when we get to go somewhere and just as a family, like leave town, get out of town, like go experience something else, whether it's just like the beach or like a nice restaurant, like all the clam chowder we would get.
Yeah.
Just everything. I think those are the memories.
How do you maintain your personal confidence? Like, do you have any ways that you've kind of managed it to maintain it?
My confidence, I think that goes back to me where it's more about me focusing on myself. I think that once I like stopped looking at other people and comparing myself, that's really helped me think about like, look at how far I've come, like looking at me from a couple years back and then looking at me now. And I think that's really what gives me that confidence is like that I continue to try and better myself, whether it's my health or my school or my work or me as a mom. Like I'm always just trying to improve. And I think that's where I find my confidence is by just continuing to push forward.
Yeah, I love that. I do feel like your confidence, even in the past few years, has like really flourished and grown a lot. I mean, you've always been confident, and I feel like growing up, you've always been a very confident person naturally. You know, you do what you do. I was the one that I felt really struggled with the self-confidence growing up, and you were just like, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and you are gonna like it. Just like watching you in the past few years, I feel like you've developed another level of self-confidence, which is really cool to see that.
When you say that to me, honestly, I don't think that I was that confident back then. I think that's why it's a different kind of confidence. Because I think back then I was just trying, that was my front, like to make it like, I got this, like I'm good, like, but deep down I wasn't. And I think now that I actually am, that's why it looks different.
That makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It does feel like watching you now, it does feel more natural, like more unapologetic than in the past. How do you handle insecurities and self-doubt? It's kind of like a similar question, but like I guess it could speak to also like in your career or goals or like things that you want to achieve or whatever it may be. Like how do you handle the self-doubt that can sometimes come with that?
That's when I think my kids come in more, is that I look at them and I'm like, do I really want them to see me not feeling good about myself or feeling like I can't do something? Because I never want them to feel that way. That's something I always want to make sure that they understand they can do anything that they want to do if they just put the work into it. And so I try to tell myself, like, you can't tell them something and then live a different way, because then they're going to look at you and be like, Mom's a liar. Like, she's not. Like, she's not, obviously, look at her, she's having a hard time. And so I think that that's where I try and think, what do I want my kids to see? Do I want, like, I understand that at the end of the day, everyone's going to have their feelings. Like, everyone's going to have their moments where they don't feel great, but you just have to remember not to let that overcome all of the good in your life and all the good things you've done.
Oh, I love that. What's the best advice you've learned from a friend or a family member? Or it could be like a way that maybe not direct advice that someone has given you. Anybody around you that has inspired you, even if it was indirectly.
You definitely have inspired me. You inspire me a lot. I'm so proud of you and everything that you do. It blows my mind. And every time someone talks to me about you, I'm like, yeah, that's my sister. Like, she does everything. Yeah, I think that's something, is that you literally like started just something so small and you've continued to grow into this amazing person doing all these big things. And so I'm definitely proud of you, and you inspire me.
Oh my God.
You used to look in my closet and now I'm looking at yours.
The tables have turned.
I'm like, wow, fashion.
No, I feel like we learn from each other.
Once I think my style really evolved and grew into something better, I was taking a lot of tips from you. I was looking at your Instagram.
I feel like you helped me in the like way back, like when I was first starting YouTube and I was wearing like all, not that there's anything wrong with it, but like I was wearing a lot of Forever 21, like anything that was on their mannequins, a lot of floral. You'd be like, girl.
All the skater skirts.
Which sometimes were cute, but I feel like you like helped guide me when I went a little too like, maybe not. And see, so we just like help each other. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I don't know. Because at first I was like, I want to read minds. And I'm like, do I want to know what people think all the time? Probably not.
No. I'm good.
Yeah, I was like, better not. You know what? Invisibility is great sometimes. I think that people don't like it because they're like, I don't want to be invisible. I don't want nobody to know me. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? That'd be nice. Like to go be invisible and go through Target.
That would be so fun.
Nobody notices me. Nobody's like, hey. I don't have to worry about mom from school. I don't have to worry about anything.
I love that. Mine's always been to be able to turn any scenario into a musical number.
Is that a magic power? Maybe I want it.
I think so. Like if I could have like the ability to be like, if I'm in public and then just boom, and then everybody just synchronized, like knows the choreography, has the vocals. Yeah. what are you most looking forward to in the future?
I'm excited to become a teacher, like a full-on credentialed teacher, have my classroom that I can start decorating.
Yes.
For that, I'm living for it. I am excited to watch my kids grow. I'm excited for Camille to start school.
Yes.
I'm just excited for all the things. Like, I'm excited to grow.
I love that. You have a lot of growing going on already, and it's really cool. And yeah, even watching the girls grow up it's kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah.
like Marin was just a little baby yesterday, and now she's over here learning TikTok dances. Like, it's
can't.
a lot. Our last question. What is your favorite thing about yourself?
I think my favorite thing about myself is just how much I've changed in a good way, like in a positive way. I like looking back at like who I was a few years ago and then now and just seeing just how much I keep saying grow, how much I've grown. I feel like I really like who I am now in all aspects. I think that it's just really what I like about myself. I feel like I'm constantly changing, but not where I'm like a completely different person in a bad way, but in a more me way.
And that shows. It truly shows so much. Like, literally this past year, I've been like, wow, she's growing. She is doing a lot for herself. She is motivated. And yeah, I'm just really happy for you. And I'm happy that we're at this point. Look at us besties now. No more fighting.
No more smashing lip glosses.
No more of that.
Throwing strawberries.
What?
I said throwing strawberries or watermelons.
That's a story for another time. All right. Well, that is all of our questions. Thanks for joining us for the first Atom&Matter interview, a part of our interview series. This was really fun. It really just felt like we were just chatting.
Yeah.
I mean, we were.
Always do.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in and being a part of it with us, and look forward to more interviews in the future. All right. That is it. Talk to you later. I'll talk to you later on FaceTime.
Yeah. Literally. Bye. Bye.